decade number 2 finds you at King's in Canterbury. How did you find it there? A whole new world for you. The repertoire in particular, how did it feel walking into that world?
It was tough, actually. I mean, having been a chorister at Canterbury and then suddenly going to senior school, and King's was a very academic school. It was phenomenal for sport, like Sir David Gower, College cricket. But it was also brilliant for music. And there were a lot of us that went from Canterbury Choir School to King's. So that was nice. I was a day boy as well. It was one day boy house in those days. And I could walk to school. And it was really great, but there was so much music going on there. There was again another inspirational director of music, having had Alan Wicks at choir school, Edward Wright, director of music at King's Canterbury. He conducted the orchestras, he conducted the Magical Society, the choir, you know, he gave us singing lessons a lot. And so one was sort of steeped into this phenomenal music tradition, because at that school there were a lot of choristers from all over the country who were going to King's because it got that reputation.
And I remember you saying that you used to learn arias. It wasn't just that you sang chorally, you would sing songs and different repertoire expanded.
Oh yeah, that was very much as a chorister at Canterbury. We on Thursday evensongs at the choir school, we sang proper anthems. We would sing not only soprano arias, but also alto arias from the Passions, from Bach's Passions, Handel oratorios. I even got a vague memory of that we sang the first movement of Mozart's Exsultate Jubilate, but that must have been pretty fierce. But anyway, but we were told to, we're not told, we were given proper music, real music to get our teeth into.
Do you think that helped you to understand the vast range of repertoire that you've now come to love? Because if you look at your recordings, they span centuries. I mean, we're talking decades today, but it really goes across the board. Is this where you discovered your love for Renaissance music in particular, do you think?
I'm not sure about the Renaissance music. It was just a love of music and a sense of architecture that went through this music, and of phrasing and yeah, I mean, having been a chorister at Canterbury, you've got Canterbury Cathedral. I mean, what better place to have to sing in? And then King's Canterbury, we had phenomenal symphony orchestra. I think there was something like 7 National Youth Orchestra players in the orchestra. I mean, this was incredible days. Many of them in professional music today, and it was great. I mean, it was just it was all there for us to be a part of.
It's lovely to look at the selection you've got for this decade. You've got from Bird up to Brahms. Why do you think that they call to you in such presumably very different ways, but why do you think they bring back such memories then?
Well, Bird, that was very much from being a chorister at Canterbury, and there was a piece, This Day Christ Was Born, which I just remember, and we would only perhaps sung it on two successive years, maybe at Christmas, but it stuck with me. Fantastic piece, rhythmically really complex. I mean, that was part of Alan. You know, it didn't matter what the music was. It didn't have, the more difficult it was, he would just throw it at us, and we just had to do it, and that was great, and a good discipline. Said before, you know, going to King's, introduction to all this amazing romantic music and much later music, and that was partly because I was a clarinetist. So I loved playing the clarinet. I really did enjoy it. My teacher was a military band player from Deal Marines. Like all the wind and brass teachers were from the Deal Marine band, and they were just fantastic. And we played Brahms 1, I remember, in the symphony orchestra, and I just loved it.
Do you think, it just makes me think so much about how you conduct. It's just making me realise how much of you has come through to what you give us as singers now. The sound of the choristers, and then obviously moving up into senior school, how much do you think you've wanted to recreate that across time? Because obviously the 16 we sing in a particular way, but it's not a chorister sound at all. Yeah. So how has that informed that lovely soprano line in particular that you're looking for?
Oh wow, that's a difficult one. I mean, I suppose a lot of it's to do with the fact that every piece of music I was coming to was new to me. Yeah. So not coming from a family that went to concerts. I never went to a concert, never ever. In all my right through my teenage years. I think probably the first concert I went to was when I was at Oxford, probably, I don't know. So part of it is that sense of everything being new and me wanting to find my way into it, and just sheer enjoyment, realisation that how much importance is on a building. And sounds and also the people I was with. I played the clarinet with Andrew Mariner, principal clarinets of the LSO, Academy of St Martin in the Fields, etc. These were great times. But also, there was other music going on. There was this was a great era of pop music.
Yeah.
Beatles, Stones.
Yeah.
I remember coming into school, especially on a Sunday. Bearing in mind I was a day boy, coming into a Sunday afternoon, because going into the depths of some music school and playing Black Sabbath, Paranoid, because this record being banned by the school. I can't remember the exact scenario, so we were listening to it in secret. These were great days.
Well, you can't put that into a choral pilgrimage, don't you?
I'm working on it.
So it explains so much, and I think all of this really builds the picture up towards how and when you then ended up going to Magdalen in Oxford, which is the next decade in your life.
Yeah, and a very special decade.